On the other hand, I always wanted to be a defense lawyer. I loved the concept of being a defense lawyer, of defending people's liberty. The first step towards that was learning the other side. So I had to be a prosecutor first. I wanted to understand how a prosecutorial mind thinks. So I wound up being deputy bureau chief of homicide in the Brooklyn DA's office. If you could imagine what that
Oh,
is, that's trying
yeah.
a
Wow.
homicide cases, right? And then I went over and did some work in the U.S. Attorney's office. I was cross-designated for some cases. So it was great, but I really just always wanted to be a defense attorney. I mean, you get to cross-examine witnesses. You get to, defend people in matters of importance. And it was something that, to me, was all I wanted to do. It's prosecutors are supposed to win. They win 90+% of their
Yes.
cases. So, I like the challenge of being a defense attorney and what it's important for, what it stands for, protecting the rights of those, sometimes who can't even defend themselves. And I like that. It's
Of
important.
course. So then that's an interesting trajectory then, because you go from prosecution to then defense attorney. What does your journey look like to get to the point where you're defending Donald Trump or ASAP Rocky or Meek Mill? You've got some John Vandersloot. You've got some pretty high profile clients. Were there any big level ups, like meteoric steps in that journey, Joe?
Early on when I left the prosecutor's office, I got a big case of a police corruption case in New York. It was called the Mullen Commission. And they had all these police corruption cases in federal court. The United States government was indicting all these cops in New York for corruption. And some of those cops were my cops in the DA's office. So one of them hired me. And we had this big front page of the New York Times sort of press case. And in fact, it was a big case. It was like my first 3 months out of the DA's office.
Wow.
And I got an acquittal. The guy was found not guilty, and it was front page of the New York Times. So that was a hell of a start for me.
Right.
It was, part luck that I got that case. It's not because I was this great defense attorney. It's because I just had that helped me. I then wound up doing some commentary on Court TV, and then I started doing a lot more commentary on Court TV. And I got a gig on MSNBC as a part-time host. Then I became the Good Morning America legal correspondent. So for 2 years, I was the Good Morning America legal analyst. And then I started getting other cases. You win one case and somebody comes. I was doing a lot of police officers in the beginning, and doing a lot of their cases, getting some good results for them. So, that's just started happening. And then word of mouth travels pretty quickly. New York's a big city, small city.
Right. And I was interested to see you were the correspondent for the Amanda Knox stuff.
Right.
Was that quite a wild thing to cover with the two different cultures? But that's your origin. You're Italian, right? So
correct. Yep. I'm Italian. I speak Italian, so I was able to go over there with the crew from ABC.
ABC, yes.
Yeah, and we did a whole series on that. A series. We did a special on it, and spent quite some time there. But yeah, the Italian justice system is quite different. It's the Napoleonic Code. It's different. You're presumed guilty almost. You're held and detained until you prove you're innocent. It's like a whole different world. So it was interesting, but that was a trying episode, because then I became close with that family, with the Knox family, and then they asked me after I was done with my gig for ABC, I started consulting with them as a lawyer.